Welcome back to another Bourbon Santa video. We're gonna make up for lost time. This is Black Saddle. It's black and it's a saddle. And it's 12 years old. Now, this is a 12-year-old Kentucky whiskey. Kentucky bourbon. Straight. 14 years old, 45% alcohol, 90 proofs. Now, on the bottle, it says bottled by Frank Lynn with a little mark, whatever. Having a brain fart. Anyway, Distillers, Products Limited, Fairfield, California. California. You get your chili from California? What the hell? So it's a 12-year-old Kentucky bourbon. They don't tell you where it's from. I've heard some rumors. I don't know if they're true, so I'm not even going to say them. But zero information. Zero information. Black Saddle, Kentucky straight bourbon, aged 12 years, 45%, bottled by they're going off it says Kentucky straight on the front to tell you that it's Kentucky. I assume that that's true. But, it doesn't have this was distilled in Kentucky or anything like that on the back. So let's go. Let's see. Let's just taste it. Let's just see. Distillery unknown, mash bill unknown. We know nothing. We know nothing for sure. We do know that this won a double gold in San Francisco Spirits competition thingamajig in 2014. So that means that this is a prestigious bourbon. Double gold. I mean, that's the same place that made Henry McKenna overpriced and impossible to find. So they probably know something, right? They know something, right? Sure, they know something. Let's go. Let's just see. Let's see how 12-year Kentucky. Now, I've had 9-year Kentucky from undisclosed distilleries. I've had lots of whiskey that's 9 or more years Kentucky from disclosable distilleries. But from an unknown distillery, and I'm pretty sure the one I had was 9-year Barton. I don't know what this is because I don't know. It doesn't say. But let's see. Let's see what this tastes like. See what it smells like. We'll smell it first. Now, I did have a drink out of this last night. And my first drink out of this bourbon, I was fully prepared to absolutely shit on this. I wrote down my notes from last night, and I'm going to tell you what they were. But I do have to tell you, and I had to catch myself, because this doesn't smell as bad as it did yesterday. So let's just do this. I'm going to turn this over, and I'm going to give you my notes right now. And then I'm going to look at my notes from last night, and we're going to see how they compare. I get a funky vanilla. And the funk is like an erasable marker. You know the kind? You know the kind. We all loved to sniff them when we were in school. You know the kind. There's a little cherry. But the cherry is like mixed with nuts. It's like grainy and nutty. And weird that this is 12 years old and I still can notice graininess. But it's like granola with nuts and cherries, like chopped up or maybe even dried cherries. It's really weird that I'm getting as much cereal note with it being 12 years old as I'm getting. That's very interesting. I almost get a hint of yogurt, like vanilla plain yogurt. Almost a hint of kiwi. The green interior flesh of kiwi. You're going to see in a second that those notes do not match my notes from last night at all. Now, is it still thin? Yes, it's still thin. It's still thin. It's still very light. 90 proof. What do you expect? There's a hint of like shoe polish when I really dig past the other like more predominant notes. And oak. Wow. That's tripping me out. Okay, let's taste this thing. That funkiness, that erasable marker funkiness is more chalky on the palate. It's like a chalkiness. And then oak and vanilla and a hint of caramel. Man, that is so weird. Oh my God. Let me read you my notes from last. Ooh, shit. Let me read you my notes from last night. Good Lord, this could not be more different. All right, on the nose, I wrote down sourdough bread dough, funky, musty, wet hay, banana and mint, cinnamon sugar, crab apple, pine nuts, mushrooms, and balsamic. It was awful. I hated this last night. Now I do not hate it. It's still funky. It's still not perfectly what I want to drink. I'm not in love with it, but man, compared to last night, the only thing that stayed true is on the palate, the chalkiness. I said on the taste last night, chalk, pine needles, copper, metallic, vanilla, drying is slightly herbal, dry, nutty, finish. And I wrote down, I hate it with 2 exclamation points, bottom shelf beam or Evan Williams equivalent. That much air took what I felt was an awful whiskey last night to being something that I could drink today. It's not my perfect bourbon, but I could drink this. Yeah. That's so wild. Do not judge whiskeys by the neck pour. Don't judge whiskeys, period, off of having one taste of them. Ever. You could be so far off. And I know that it's not my palate, because last night I also had my first pours of that new Barrel King, and it stayed absolutely consistent. It was just as good when I shot the review today as it was when I had it last night. So don't come at me in the comments and say it's that. It ain't that. This whiskey changed overnight by letting air get into it. Wow, that's crazy. Don't judge a book by its cover. Is it great? No, it's not great. This isn't a great whiskey. This is a low quality 12-year bourbon from whatever distillery this is. It's not wonderful. It's very leggy. It's very oily. The flavors aren't great, and that's why they sold this whiskey to Black Saddle, probably for relatively very cheap for a 12-year bourbon, because this is a cheap bottle. This is like $56. Or 56? I'm drawing a blank. This is around 50 something. And so, a 12-year-old Kentucky bourbon for $50, $56, $60, whatever it was. That's cheap. That's cheap. So that means that Black Saddle bought this from some Kentucky distillery who was like, "Oh, we got these funky ass barrels. Let's sell them to somebody for wholesale cost and just recoup some of our expense and get rid of them because we'll never put them out under our label." And that's fine. It's fine for what it is. Would I buy one? Probably not. Would I buy another one? Probably not. So there we go. Thanks for watching. Until next time, have a great day.